your b-boy name, so I thought I'd drop that for you. You're welcome.
So people out there, yes, I used to break dance. Yes, occasionally I'll still bust a move, but it's like once a year.
Be Nice Individuals Podcast.
Hey folks, this is Thaddeus. I am on the Be Nice Individuals Podcast, which is hosted here at the Flagler Podcast Studio. I have a very special guest in studio. It's none other than Josh McLean, one of the coolest guys. I was gonna say the coolest, but I don't want to show any favoritism. But he's a really cool person, really approachable, and I like his style. It's kind of funky. It's pretty cool. Josh, how you doing today, brother?
I'm awesome, man.
Yeah,
we can edit that and post the coolest.
Yeah, I could do that.
I was gonna say, what up, psych?
Oh, you're taking me back to the old school breakdancing days.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I used to do that back in high school, and we had talked about it when you interviewed me, I think.
Yeah.
And
you let me know your b-boy name, so I thought I'd drop that for you. You're welcome.
So people out there, yes, I used to break dance. Yes, occasionally I'll still bust a move, but it's like once a year. Josh, though.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Josh is from Cut Up and Sew, for those people who don't know, which is the coolest sewing shop, quote shop, for at least 100 miles.
On the planet.
Okay.
Just say it. Yeah.
How did you get into it, brother?
So I came back from China. I'm going to try to make this story as short as possible so came back from China. I was looking for a job. Ended up meeting a guy who had 8 vacuum stores.
Yeah.
So I was in the vac industry. Mm-hmm. Became his operations manager. We went to trade shows. Sewing was like a big thing, sewing vac shops. And so we ended up adding sewing machines. I fell in love with the industry. I'm an art background. I'm an artist. So that it was natural for me to like sewing machines and sewing more than vacuums because there's zero creativity involved with just selling vacuums.
True.
You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Yeah, they suck. But so the sewing industry and just the things that people were creating in the industry it just drew me in. And so we basically just for 5-6 years, I was learning the industry, learning the machines, learning techniques, learning how to order fabric, everything that you need to know to run a quilt shop, sewing quilt shop. So, but it kind of ran its course. He's amazing. The shop was amazing up in Louisville, Kentucky, and all the way up to Indianapolis. But I wanted to do it for myself.
Right.
And so I Googled quilt shops for sale in Florida. Uh-huh. And that's where Palm Coast showed up. And I've never heard of Palm Coast. And I grew up in Florida, and I lived around Palm Coast, but never heard of Palm Coast.
Yeah.
I know I've told you this before, but most people don't know this story. So, I came down to visit. The previous owner was ready to not work, and I was ready to go to work. So here we are. In November 2021 is when we took over. Yeah. So it's going to be 3 years real soon.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's been awesome.
And you started actually during COVID, during the craziness. But that was good for your business, yeah?
It was actually, so technically we bought the business in November, so really it was kind of after the craziness. When we came to Florida, in fact, I was like, there's no businesses shut down. Nobody has masks on. Did Florida get COVID? Like what's, you know what I mean? But I was working for the Sewing and Vacuum Authority in Louisville through COVID, and we were an essential business because vacuums, you need to clean your homes, and sewing machines, people were making masks.
Oh, shoot.
So we stayed open, but you couldn't have people come in. So I was hustling. Like they would call, pay for the sewing machine over the phone, and they'd pull up, pop their trunk, and I'd throw it in, and we had a line of cars.
That's cool.
COVID tripled the industry.
Yeah.
Because people were trying to make masks, or they were dusting off the one that grandma gave them in the garage because they were bored.
Yeah.
Whatever the reason. And people got comfortable. I'll go ahead and say it. An older demographic got comfortable being online.
Yeah.
So for Zoom classes, shopping online, like our website, cutupandsew.com, plug, has everything that's in our shop available online. So people who weren't savvy or comfortable shopping online and doing things virtually became comfortable.
That's awesome.
So it was awesome for the industry. I hate to say it, but like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there can be bad things, but good things still come out of them.
Sure.
Like, I'm thinking, though, when you open this shop, how the business was increased in Louisville, right? I'm assuming still.
Not here. You're right.
Yeah, but maybe people were sitting at home more for COVID, whatever. And so that business here would have, I don't know, but she wanted to get out, so maybe.
Well, so
maybe
but
it didn't have the
no,
same
no, I'll
effect.
be honest with you. She basically closed,
Yeah.
and so she, if you wanted to stay open, you really had to put in the work. Like
Oh,
it
you
wasn't
did.
easy. Don't get me wrong. So
Yeah.
a lot of shop owners who had been around for a long time were like, I'm not putting in the hours. I'm not doing virtual.
Yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah blah. You know, and so they ended up just kind of almost closing the doors entirely. She stayed open for some online sales and things like that. But yeah, the shop, in fact, when we bought it, a lot of people thought that it had closed.
Really?
So I went to the first quilt show, which is like a trade show and a quilt show, judged quilt show.
Uh-huh.
Thousands of people, and they're like, cut up and sew. I thought that was, you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
thought that it had closed.
Right.
So technically, we did kind of start from the ground up
Okay.
and
yeah,
build
yeah.
it again.
Sure.
It didn't take long. I
Yeah.
tell you, people were itching for a good sewing shop to go to down here. Lots of sewers in Florida. I don't know.
I can imagine.
Retirement home of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so sewing is an art, and that's why you gravitate towards it. I've seen some of the quilts in your shop,
Yeah.
and how you got these different patterns and stuff like that, and you like the more funky stuff, which
The more
is cool.
modern stuff.
That's what it is.
Well, and what I do, people always ask, so do you quilt? I'm like, yes and no. Like,
Yeah.
I know how to quilt. I don't enjoy sewing a straight line and putting a bunch of pieces together and doing
Yeah.
math.
Uh-huh.
Nah, I'm good. So I basically draw with thread. It's called thread painting.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. Maybe I've never showed you some of my stuff. I'll
No,
have to.
I saw like the one quilt. I think it was last week actually, and it was
Oh, I did have some hanging up.
it was like a
at
little
the
little
RDC
funky
meeting.
one.
Yeah, some weird stuff that I basically draw and just kind of. It's art. It's all creative,
Yeah.
and even the more traditional quilts, which are hanging up in the shop, are
Mm-hmm.
using fabric that I chose for the shop, which is definitely a little bit funkier, more modern.
Yeah.
My Halloween section is massive. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's fun.
And you're getting into Halloween now, or
I've been.
exactly. Let me rephrase that. How long have you been into Halloween now for the season?
Year round, brother.
Oh, okay.
So technically, they allow me to start really going heavy pretty much now. So
the ladies.
yeah. The people that tolerate me in the shop and my wife,
Yeah.
she knows that I'm a giant child all year round, but for this part of the year, I'm allowed to really act on it.
Yeah.
So I didn't show you, but in the other room where we had the opposite side, there's a 7-foot tall werewolf.
Why isn't that out yet?
It's out.
Oh, it is out. It's
out,
out, but
and
it's in the other room.
I didn't show it to you yet. So it's
okay.
starting. You know what I mean?
So you and Brad though, are gonna have a lot of good movies to trade back and forth during this time.
Oh
And
yeah.
do you guys compete at all on decorating? You and Brad, have you guys ever?
No, we haven't. Maybe there's some friendly competition. I did let him borrow some movies and definitely found out what his weird factor is and what his level of like, okay, I'm tapping out. So
So you go further than him, I'm imagining. Then
yeah. Let's not talk about that. People are going to start judging me. Dude owns a quilt shop and loves watching heads get chopped off. What's happening?
Well, it's still art. I mean,
Amen.
you
You're
know,
preaching to the choir.
like, I'll say this. So the Science Center, and I don't know if they're all over the place, but Science Center in St. Louis, what they had on display is they had cadavers cut in half, and so you can see the internals and all that stuff, which is pretty cool.
Cool,
Like
yeah,
people
yeah.
who had donated their body to science, but I don't want to go too far down.
Education.
Yeah, yes, education. It's cool. Yeah,
It's a little different when it's
different.
education and you're watching something for fun, for enjoyment. And I get it. You know what? I hate blood in real
Yeah.
life. Boy, we have taken. I knew this was going to happen with me and you. I hate like violence and blood in real life, but
Yeah.
I don't know why. I love horror films, man. It is what it is. So Halloween is very nostalgic for me, and I just love the whole getting goofy and silly and dressing up, and you know what I mean.
But it's also all art. So all this is art. So the movie itself is art.
True.
The way they portray certain things in the film with their creativity, and there's certain masterful ways of letting certain things play out and stuff in a
Yep.
scene to make it so it looks the most realistic or the most not realistic sometimes.
Yeah.
It's all art. And
It
then
is.
Halloween costumes. It's art, especially now we're going to transition back to sewing.
There it is.
Some of the kids come to Cut Up and Sew and make their own costumes.
We actually have a costuming club.
Oh,
So-
shoot.
So we have, and this is a good, what a segue, dude. By the way, way to bring that full circle.
I knew I
Masterful.
just spit it.
Masterful.
Yeah.
So we have like 8 different clubs. They're
Yeah.
free clubs at the shop, and the entire goal of the clubs are to get people to come and meet other people who have like-minded interests
Yeah.
and inspiration. So the costuming club, there's pirates, there's people who are into, like myself, the horror and the dress up, and then there's cosplay folks, there's reenactors. So it's really cool that we just made medieval torches
Oh, cool.
in our last workshop.
Really?
Like light up LED medieval torches.
That's
it was
pretty
awesome.
cool. That is awesome.
So yeah, again, it is all art, and it's all the creatives. They're coming together, and so Cut Up and Sew. The main thing when I bought the shop, people can come there for sewing supplies. We sell high-end sewing machines, low-end sewing. Like we sell something for everyone, but classes was the number one focus.
Really?
Getting the community involved. We do charity sewing every other month. We have a big sewing for charity party, and that brings the community together. So that was the main focus, and I think that's really where we have grown and become really, really strong, because
Yeah.
we offer so much for so many different types of people, and people can just come and hang out there. I tell the ladies, you don't have to buy something, just come in and just be around. It's community.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're family owned. We want to hang out with you. You know what I mean?
And that's good for business, though, too. You stop in, and it makes the shop busier, you know, and that you got that vibe going, that energy,
Yep.
so to speak, in there. And people are like, oh, okay, this is the place to be. I want to come in here and check out the fabric. And then just hanging out, not having any pressure to buy, you're going to look at the fabric and maybe like, yeah, I could see how I can utilize that.
Well, I'm not a total idiot. You know what I mean? So yeah, if they like you, they're more willing to probably spend some money. You know, and so number one, we treat people like their family. Like that,
Yeah.
I'm easy to work with, but I don't. That's a must.
Yeah.
You got to be
Absolutely.
nice to people. It's not rocket science, man.
Right.
They come in, be happy that they're there.
You see, you're even tagging the podcast. Be nice individual.
Be nice individual. That's right. You
Yeah.
have to be a nice individual to work at Cut Up and Sew.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if did that round that up? Because I like doing this so much, and I
Yes.
feel like we've done so well, and the classes are going so well.
Mention though that you have machines that if people
Well,
don't have-
absolutely. So
Yeah.
let me. I'm going to where we're growing, so
Yes,
come back
yes.
to that.
Okay,
all right?
very good.
So we repair all brands of sewing machines. So people have machines that were donated. Bring them in. Give us a call. We can help you with anything. We sell Baby Lock, Janome, and coming very soon, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, Bernina. So these are the top of the line, highest end machines on the planet. They have price points from $150 to $24,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So it's a wide range, but the reason I say that is because we have a machine for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when you come in, I'm not trying to sell you the most expensive machine if that's not what you need.
Right.
In fact, I spend more time talking people out of the expensive stuff because they're not going to use the features.
Right.
Save money, buy this less expensive one that's perfect for you, it does everything you want, and then as you grow, you can trade in. We'll give you money back for the first one you bought, and then that's how you kind of go.
Yeah.
So it's important to know we do sell sewing machines, but we're not pushy.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
really want you to, because we want you to come back. It's a long game, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want you to come back to us and keep coming back to us and never stop.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's good for your name though too. Like if you're obviously acting ethically, doing business ethically, in Palm Coast, it's a small kind of town, I guess, compared to places we've come from, right?
It totally is.
But it's all word of mouth, you know.
It's huge. And
And-
bad news spreads real fast.
Yeah, if you treat people right, you know, that energy you put out is going to come back to
Well,
you.
good news spreads fast, bad news spreads faster. So,
That's true.
I mean, for
Yeah.
real, people are real quick to talk smack.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not quite as apt
No.
to say something nice, but I tell you, Palm Coast, the people down here are just happier.
Oh, yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the people in Palm Coast, and I shouldn't even just say Palm Coast, St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Daytona, like this area. They're either retired, so they're happy, they're mentally retired, or they're on vacation. So they're having fun. All right, so I want to make sure we get this in. I knew me and you were going to have a tough time doing a short
that's
thing,
the beauty of the podcast.
I know, and we enjoy talking to each other. We actually like each other. But so I've enjoyed this so much, and I feel like we've kind of figured it out. Like, this is what it takes. You want people to enjoy the experience and not forget it. We liked it so much that I figured, you know what? We need to grow. And I can't do that in the walls that I have. And so an opportunity has come up where we're now branching into St. Augustine, and there's going to be 2 locations of Cut Up and Sew.
Dude.
Drop the boo, 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 boo fireworks.
That's cool.
You got some cool effects in there.
I probably can. We'll have to look for them.
So it's a big deal. In fact, the shop that we're purchasing was called Bee's Quilt Shop and Studio, I think. She's been there for 11 years. Fantastic owner. She's amazing. She's also ready to... She's been doing it a long time. And so I cannot wait to get in there and basically replicate what we did here. And really expand, because that just branches out to even more people that we can reach. And with different locations, we can offer different things. It brings more machines. It brings more classes. I have a poster that says 2 times the classes, 2 times the fabric, 2 times the fun.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a cool poster.
I'm excited, man.
And that's that energy, though. So some of these people are older. Excuse me. Some of these people, like the shop that you purchased down here, Cut Up and Sew, you know, maybe she had been in the industry for a while and that energy wasn't quite the same. And now maybe it's the same case, but you're young, you're vibrant, you're full of energy and passion.
I love
that,
man.
That's just a way for you to keep that industry growing and booming and alive. And, and you're the perfect person for it.
Well, thank you. And I think that the people who I have gotten the shops from, they, you know, if I ever go into work and somebody comes in the door and I'm like, okay, that's it, I'm done. No, I hear that little bing and I'm like, sweet, who's here? You know what I mean? Like, so if you don't have that kind of energy and that kind of excitement for customers that come in your door, call it quits, man. It's either that or be a business person and sit at home and pay somebody to be happy. Whatever, but don't be in the shop if you don't enjoy it. If you're not, I say it all the time, if you don't like what you do, you suck at it.
That's true. It's all about in life your passion. And when you're really passionate about whatever it is that you do, that's the type of energy, so to speak. And people can see that and they're attracted to that. And if you're negative, you're down, people don't want to be around you.
Oh, the vibe, man. It's like, oh, you just not get a warm and fuzzy feeling. And we've all been in the stores like that. And in retail, that's crazy to me. Like, the easiest part of our job is being nice. Learning all the technical stuff, that's fine. But if you're not genuinely happy to be around people, don't be in customer service or retail, dude. Like, find a different gig. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Tell me more about this new location, because this is a huge announcement. Tell me more about it.
So, boy, am I going to mess up the address. I think it's 1975 Old Moultrie Road. I think that's right.
Moultrie, okay. Is that near like the Moultrie Diner by chance?
To be honest with you, I don't know the area that well. There's some big intersections and there's some big box stores around. So I think it's one of the major intersections off of Old Moultrie. So for those that know St. Augustine, they're going to go, I know where it is.
I do not.
I don't either. Like, I know downtown St. Augustine. That's really, and over the lines, like, that's all I really know.
Well, how far is it from here?
It takes 34 minutes to get from shop to shop.
Okay,
So not far at all. I mean, we drive 20 minutes anywhere on Palm Coast because you sit at a traffic light.
You're not wrong.
I mean, And people who are like, oh, the traffic here. I'm like, live somewhere else. Don't complain. It's great here. Like, don't move somewhere else. I mean, just don't complain. Try living somewhere where there's more traffic.
Just be happy.
Just be happy.
Be nice.
Be nice. Leave early.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. So I'll give more information as it comes. But this is gonna happen. November 1 is when we officially take over as Cut Up and Sew.
That's cool.
St. Augustine location.
That's cool.
I'm pumped.
Man, I'm super happy for you.
Thanks, dude.
Because, look, we vibe very well.
Yeah.
It's very easy to talk to you. Probably one of the easiest people to talk to on a podcast. We've done this a couple times.
Yeah,
I think this will be like our third time actually sitting down on camera.
You were on my podcast, the So Rogan Experience. Plug.
That's two. That's true.
And it was great. It's just a natural flow.
Yeah.
It's because we enjoy what we're doing, man.
I think I get you though too.
Oh yeah,
I get you, and I'm a creative also.
You are.
More in the video sphere, but I grew up drawing and stuff like that.
And breakdancing.
And breakdancing. That's also an art form. Yeah. Unless you're, I'm not going to talk about the Olympics. I don't know what that was, but I said,
dude, she rocked it.
I haven't watched it, but I'm like, dude, that's kind of cool though.
No, yeah. That's a whole thing. We won't get on that.
We won't get into that, but like at the same time, either she was actually trying to do it with her all, or she was trolling us.
No, she was having fun.
Yeah, I love that though. Yeah. Any closing remarks you want to make about the location down here in Palm Coast, or the one in St. Augustine, or anything else we might have forgotten?
Sure. So more information to come on the St. Augustine location, because it is so new. Literally, I don't know that much yet. So we're just going to be able to offer more things to people who don't want to come to Palm Coast, although you should. So Palm Coast, it's 160 Cypress Point Parkway, Suite D116, City Marketplace, across from Dominic's Deli. Everybody knows where that is.
Yeah.
We offer tons of classes for every single age, every skill set. If you go to cutupandsew.com and you don't see a class you want, call us because we will create one. It is a fun place. We're trying to make sewing cool again.
Yeah.
It's not that it ever wasn't cool, but people don't realize how cool this industry is.
Right.
And how fun and artsy and just creative it is.
Yeah. And is the best way to contact you just to come into the shop, or do you have a phone number or website to go to as well?
We have all of the above. You're good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. So cutupandsew.com is the website, and everything in our shop is on that. The phone number to the shop is 386-447-1103. You can email me at info@cutupandsew.com. That's all spelled out. Or Joshua@cutupandsew.com. I get both of them.
Okay.
I'm easy to find. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok if you want to watch some fun stuff. YouTube, you name it, man. We're everywhere.
I think you kind of got me into TikTok.
I'm taking over the world, dude. One sewing shop at a time.
Yeah,
that's what I said this morning, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I don't know a ton about the industry, but just from what I know, you have to be the one to just really standing out like a light when you go to these different conventions and stuff. I know you were just in St. Louis at Baby Lock.
Yo.
Shout out to St. Louis, which is where I'm from. But folks out there, we just had a great sit down with Josh McLean from Cut Up and Sew. Great energy, great positivity. Like, you don't even have to be into sewing. Just come meet him. He's at different networking events. He's all over Facebook, TikTok. I'll say this. So when he was actually in St. Louis at the Baby Lock convention, he did this live. I think it was either a live or recorded. And I'm not in the market for a sewing machine, but just his energy. I sat down and watched the whole thing. It was like 25 minutes. I'm like, this is just fun to watch because it's him. So folks that are looking for something to do, even just an activity, there's tons of classes. And like we mentioned before, you don't necessarily have to have a sewing machine. They have those sewing machines there at the shop to make that happen. Your kids, if you want them off of social media or away from their phones for a little bit, hey, this is a great way for them to get out and learn actually a life skill. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to sew a button on a shirt. Okay? So reach out to Josh, Cut Up and Sew. Go into the shop to see their offerings. It's not a traditional like a sewing shop. It's vibrant. There's cool colors and all that. Make sure you go check out what they have to offer. And again, this has been an episode of the Be Nice Individuals that's filmed here at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio. Again, the podcast studio is a place where businesses can come in, individuals can come in, political candidates come in, shout out their ideas, their thoughts. They can connect directly to their audience. We have call-in features here. I'm going to get one brave soul to make that happen. Call-ins happen. They can answer questions live. It's going to happen here soon. But again, this has been Thaddeus and Josh McLean on the Be Nice Individuals podcast, filmed here at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio. We'll see you next time.